The goal is for you to join Impact Austin to collaborate with other women and innovate new solutions to old problems. We're hoping that you build some meaningful connections and develop friendships and make a huge impact alongside smart, dynamic women who share a love for Central Texas.
And Mimi Stiles is the president and founder of Measure and the recipient of Impact Austin's first social innovation grant in 2019 with the collaborative effort, the Innocence Initiative. And that was actually what inspired me to get involved with Impact Austin. That was my first event last year. I saw Mimi speak and I got extremely excited. And I joined Impact Austin shortly thereafter.
Our mission at Measure is to use data and education to mobilize communities to eliminate social disparities. We know that data allows us to speak in one common language. It allows people to understand deep systemic issues in a way that, that we can all come together and think of solutions based on the data. It doesn't completely throw out the real, true experience of marginalized communities, but what it does do is it gives us all a baseline so that we can move further. And so when we talk about progress, we actually have a number to measure it. Measure has realized that nonprofit organizations that are led by people of color, just like myself, need tools for success that Measure has innovated and tested. Right? I did not feel at any support when it came to taking this solution that I had called Measure to scale and to offering it to other organizations. I didn't feel the support needed. I didn't understand the world of philanthropy whatsoever. And so we came together to tackle an incredibly systemic problem of adultification bias. And just to give you 2 seconds of what that is, it's proven by research that had came out from Georgetown University. People in general look at Black girls starting at the age of 5 years old as less innocent, as needing less comfort, as needing less care, needing less love, which that then turns into more criminalization for Black girls, that turns into more suspensions in schools for Black girls. We've just seen some incredible numbers of Black girls being suspended 10 times more likely than white girls just within Region 13 schools back in 2015 and 16. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to come together and do a holistic approach to fixing this issue, to disrupting it completely by training defense attorneys, because in many cases, they're the first people that are in front of a Black girl when she, before she goes to see the judge, and they need to know what adultification bias is so that they can appropriately advocate for her. And what we even realize is that Black girls need Black women to show up for them. And so what we've created was what is the Girl Squad that is now providing support to 10 Black girls at a time. We give these girls access to 2 Black women psychologists who are phenomenal. We've been able to bring on the team. They get a free laptop to make sure that they have access to technology. They get $100 just to participate and to learn about what it looks like to be compensated for providing feedback and for participation. They get $100 just for food because we know that right now our people are hungry. And so we were providing this service to them every single month, and they also are provided mentorship with another Black woman. So we've also been able to recruit a team of Black women in Austin just to partner with each one of these girls. So again, I am incredibly humbled by the support that we've gotten from Impact Austin through this grant, and then also through the several community partners that have heard about the work that we're doing, empowered by Impact Austin, and have jumped on board. And all of the folks within the organization that have decided that, we're going to show up in a way that we've never thought about showing up before. And although it may be uncomfortable to send me an email to have a conversation about race and about equity and what it really means to be anti-racist through philanthropy, they've done it. And so again, humbled and thankful. And I hope that gives you a good idea of what we do at Measure and what we've been able to do with the support of Impact Austin.
And now I would like to turn it over and introduce Laura Wolfe, who has been the CEO of CASA of Travis County since 2007. And in this role, she runs a $6 million nonprofit organization with 70 professional staff and nearly 800 volunteers, annually serving more than 2,000 children who have been abused and neglected. And she is no stranger to Impact Austin. CASA has been awarded multiple grants since 2010. And we are so happy to have Laura Wolfe here. Thanks so much for joining us today.
CASA, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is an acronym that stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. And we recruit, screen, train, and most importantly, provide professional support and supervision for community volunteers, people just exactly like you, who then become the advocates for the best interest of children who have experienced abuse or neglect and who are in the court system as a consequence of that. And our job is to get to know the child, get to know everybody connected to the child, their family, their foster family, teachers, doctors, therapists, everyone involved with that child, so that our volunteers can then go back into court and make informed recommendations about what needs to happen for that child in their best interest, short-term and long-term. The judges are charged with making really momentous, life-changing decisions for children, and they want as much information as they can get. They want courageous, creative, common sense recommendations about what's in children's best interest, and that's what our volunteers do. Impact Austin has been truly, genuinely, authentically impactful for CASA over the last decade. Initiatives that we began with the help of Impact Austin continue to this day and are bigger and deeper and part of the whole fabric of who we are at CASA. And that is a tribute to the women involved in Impact Austin and to their belief in this community. Obviously, the COVID-19 situation is challenging all of us in a myriad of ways, and the isolation, the anxiety, the economic hardship, those things that are everywhere are certainly very present for the children we serve and for their families. From virtual court hearings happening over Zoom, we're every day working to try to do the best advocacy we can and provide support to the children we serve and their families in this time that is traumatic for our whole society.
Now I have the pleasure of introducing Susan McDowell, who is the CEO of LifeWorks Austin.
LifeWorks. LifeWorks was founded in 1998 through this kind of crazy four-way merger of nonprofit organizations, and I got to be on the founding team of that effort. And our goal was to build a large, nimble organization focused on fearless advocacy for youth and families who are on their pathways to self-sufficiency. And please note when I say their pathways to self-sufficiency, not necessarily what my pathway was or the pathway of any of our staff members or funders, but we find with our youth and their families, they have a good idea of where they want to go in life, but they have maybe not had the advocacy, the opportunity and the kind of unconditional support that is maybe not necessary, but certainly helpful to get there. So that is our commitment. We serve 4,500 families every year, and so we have 20 plus programs at LifeWorks. So for a Austin nonprofit, we're a big Austin nonprofit with about 200 employees. But all of our services around self-sufficiency can be categorized under 3 core beliefs. The first core belief is that everybody deserves a place to call home. We are working with youth and young adults who have deep experiences with systems, foster care and juvenile justice, systems that were really never trained to raise and nurture children, but this is what they have done, and youth age out with a lot of resilience, a lot of dreams, but also needing a lot of support and advocacy, particularly in housing. So one of our key components is numerous housing programs. What looks like home for one might not look like home for somebody else. So we have everything that spans from street outreach to shelter, several different kinds of transitional living programs, rapid rehousing, even permanent supportive housing. And as you will see on the headline, our chief goal as an organization is to end youth homelessness by making it rare, brief, and non-recurring. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But it's not just enough to find somebody a place to live. There also has to be a recognition that everybody deserves the opportunity to learn and work at their own pace, in areas of their choosing, and in ways that normalize and frankly celebrate the so-called stumbles and failures along the way, because we've all had them. So we have a lot of programming around how to enter the workforce and education for youth who, traditional means may not have worked, and recognizing that a lot of our youth have been through substantial trauma, which leads to the third core belief. So we've got everybody deserves a place to call home. Everybody deserves the opportunity to learn and work. Everybody deserves the opportunity, the chance to heal from trauma. And Laura, we really nurture a culture of trying to work together, trying to use data, elevating the voices of our clients in what we do with that data, and collaborating. And that is one of the many ways that Impact Austin supports the work we do and the health of our community, is by being a forum of bringing together not just hundreds of women philanthropists, but the organizations that are making a big impact in the community, so we can do this work together.
And there are so many ways that you can help support Impact Austin. And the first one, of course, is for those of you who are Impact Austin members on the phone, to go ahead and renew your membership today. So renew your commitment to Impact Austin. For new folks, it's join and then recruit others. The goal is that you'll share this information that you learned today with your colleagues, with your employers, with your friends. And I ask that you specifically reach out to women who you see are upcoming leaders, or women who you think could use a nudge in getting more involved in the community. If you go to impactaustin.org, there's a corporate matching dropdown. That is where, if you work for a company, you're able to double your donation. So for folks who work in companies that provide matching, for the your normal $1,250 investment in Impact Austin and our community partners annually, you would be able to split that in half to $625. Submit that to your HR department or to your corporate matching program, and then they'll go ahead and pay your membership dues. I also encourage those of you who yourselves are employers right now to really think about underwriting memberships or supporting memberships for your female leaders and for upcoming female leaders in your organization. Just to finish up, I know that the philosophy of to whom much is given, much is required. And I can speak for myself that I feel a particular responsibility, especially right now, having been blessed with talents and resources and knowledge and time, and all of you to consider right now sharing your time online, whatever precious time you may be able to spare for the community, sharing your treasure. So that contribution to Impact Austin, your ties, meaning your connections, your professional connections, your personal connections, to also come and share your testimonials and your lived experience and all your social capital with Impact Austin.